Hello everyone, this is the Mayor of Gaming, and today we are playing Pillars of Eternity. Now this is a game that was very recently released, actually today, if we're going by the current time of recording. But I am actually very excited to play this game. See, this is a game kind of along the same line as, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, things like that. And as such, I've really been wanting to play this game because I really loved those games. Games like Pools of Radiance, Neverwinter Nights, kind of in that same vein. But yeah, so we're going to start off and give this a try. Start with a new game. Normal, and I was looking over a few things. Got easy, which strongly recommended for people new, but I'm not new to this genre. Not recommended for newcomers. Yes. Hard. I'm not really familiar with the Infinity engine, unless it's the same engine that they used for, what is it? For some of the older games, but I don't think it is. I'm not sure. I think it was Goldbox, or unless that was beforehand. Path of... whatever. And then Path of the Damned, which is kind of like... Oh, hey, got a friend playing something. Skyrim. Nice. Path of the Damned, which is kind of like Icewind Dale's... what is it? They had like a super hard mode. But we're going to go with normal. We also have two other options. Expert mode, which adds a lot of tweaks to the game. One of the helper features, like the radius of effect, things like that, are turned off. And we're going to try it with it on. Why not, right? Trial of Iron, however, is an Iron Man mode, kind of like what they had in the Temple of Elemental Evil, if I remember correct. Which was a great game as well. More, more standard, and used 3rd edition rules rather than AD&D, but it was a fine game nonetheless. This one, yeah, your character is killed, game over. That's it, you're done. We're not doing Trial of Iron. I think normal and expert mode would be the best right now, so let's accept. I did make a few tweaks. Ooh, Obsidian Entertainment presents Pillars of Eternity. Now I did make a few tweaks to the auto pause, so it will pause at times just to, get things going. Let's see. Will it start? Will it do the thing? I have played this a bit just to test sound, and I made my character already. I know the setup that I want. So, yes. Oh, there we go.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Okay. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. There we go. Now, I am trying a different way to capture video, kind of experimenting with a few things. I'm thinking I got it working. I was having some audio issues before. But yes, if you're not seeing anything up here or here, that means we're golden. So, anyway, let's make our character. There is actually quite a bit to do while making the character, which I found pretty neat. I do like that, yes, you are playing this. Excuse me. I do like that, you know, they kind of go in depth, in each of the, lands. What is cool, you know, as you can see, you, hover over the names of the places, and it gives you a little backstory. If you do want to read them, go ahead and pause it. I'll just, leave them up for a little bit. And there we go. As far as things over here, I've read all these, so you can go ahead, if you want to get more backstory, pause it, read the stuff. Well, not backstory, I guess, setting, you know, scene setting, things like that. But we are going to go with a male, because, well, I don't know. I always identify with males more. No big. Okay, male, boom. Now, as far as what races we have, there's actually quite a few. Besides standard humans, we have Aomao, I don't know. Pretty much think of orcs. Pretty much that's only more like shark people. Actually pretty badass. Really like them as far as warriors go. Dwarfs, of course, which I don't know. I'm not sure. They don't seem as stocky to me. Elves, which, you know, typical elf. Orlin, which kind of take the halfling approach. You know, I actually want to check something. Okay, dwarves are a bit stockier. Yeah, okay. I guess it's just the, you know, I guess relative size. Yeah, it makes sense for it to be a dwarf. Like, I guess I kind of figured they looked more like gnomes or something from D&D, but they are a bit stockier than I thought. So, and godlike. Yes, those are cool looking. As far as what I'm going to be playing as, I've kind of been stuck between godlike and human. I think we'll go with human because I kind of want a character I can more relate to, you know? Just something like that. So we're going to go human next. And we're going to go... it is cool, the different sub-races. In the case of the humans, the only difference is backstory-wise. I think we'll go maybe with, dominant culture of the... You know, yeah, I think we'll go with ocean folk. Because this is the, kingdom I usually go with. But yes, not too bad. Savannah folk are also pretty cool, but, you know, we'll stick with ocean folk. Now, as far as classes go, you got the standard fare. Barbarian, druid, monk, priest, rogue, wizard, ranger, paladin, fighter. But we also have things like a cipher and a chanter. Chanter, I kind of picture more like bards. And the cipher, I feel, is kind of like a rogue wizard mix sort of thing, with a little fighter thrown in there. Kind of a jack of all trades sort of deal. Looking at all of them, I gotta say, I think I'm going to go with the cipher, because it seemed different, you know, genuinely different. So, that's what we're going with. Next. Now we get a few spells. These are more mind-affecting things. I'm going to go with Eye Strike, because I like the idea of taking out and blinding nearby targets. So, figured, you know, hey, let's go with that. Another one I think I'll use is... What's Tenuous Grasp do? Is that... okay, Frightens. Don't really need that. Whisper of Treason, Soul Shock. We're going to go with Mind Wave. So there's that. Now, because of the difficulty that we are playing at, I plan on min-maxing stat-wise. Because, well, the thing, you know, we're playing on expert mode, so, you know, fuck everything else. Dexterity. I do know enough that intelligence, dexterity, and might are the best things to go into as a cipher. I didn't realize that that actually went away. I guess they do take away a few things when you're playing on expert mode. This could be interesting. I'm probably going to make some massive fuck up at some point, so we're going to go with Old Velia, whatever that might be. Does it take away? Okay, it does take away one of our resilience, but is that what it is? Resilience, resolve. But that's fine. Okay, and we get a bunch of backgrounds to go with. I'm going to go with mercenary. I think that sounds pretty good. Now for the character, I'm going to kind of go lighter skinned, I think. Guess that's as light as it goes. Works for me. Let's see. That, and I remember the numbers. Yeah. And where was that last one? There we go. Was that it? Maybe it was... Yes, I think it was that. The reason is because it kind of matches that. Right? Right? Yeah. Works for me. Okay, now we get to choose his voice.
Yes?
I'll run through them really quick, although I already know what I'm going to take.
Follow me. Take him down. Keeping quiet. Well, now I am the leader of the group. Onward! The better part of valor. Yes? Leading the way.
Let's go!
My eyes are peeled. Huh? I've got this.
Yeah. Sharp eyes and keen ears. I shall lead us.
Onward!
Yes, we're going with Noble. I feel that's probably the best of the bunch. So let's hit next. And his name is Varsul. I'm not too familiar with the naming conventions of this world, so I just kind of go with a name I've used in the past for various D&D settings. So, hey, why not? Accept. And we are done. I already like the colors as is. I think I'll keep it like that. So, actually, you know, let's try this. Yeah? No? Yeah, that looks cool. Looks more like a fencer that way. New quest, Gilded Veil. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods towards a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Veil's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
He nods in your direction. Sparfell nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. Where do I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
What are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn. So I hear.
So who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous out here?
Not if you hurry about your business. And not if the weather holds up.
There is a concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate.
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
What are these huge rocks coming up from the ground?
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
Well, I'll go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
Touching. He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's nights sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
Ah.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Yeah.
Kind you can afford.
Oh.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Right.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
So, it looks like we are all set to go. And let's see here. Pause it. You can pause the game simply just by hitting the, spacebar. Game controls similar to the, older...
Indeed.
You know, the, older...
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
The older, Black Isle games. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles, is covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Well, who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. The life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
Well, with an outlook like that, I'm sure you'll do pretty well. We'll see, I suppose. I'm just trying to do right by my family.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Tell me about the Adir Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Ceres and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
He gives you a lopsided grin and nods at the other scattered caravanners. Why did you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Raed Ceres? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
He shrugs. Deerwood is a former Adir colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. As much as I admire Ritziren's work ethic, they always struck me as a little fanatical. That's high-minded of you. A blush rises from under his collar. Not at all, just doing my part. Alright, let's see what you got. Okay, so I do have a few items because I backed the game. This is a game that was on Kickstarter, I'm not sure if I mentioned it. Backed it because I really wanted something like this. Got the Cloak of Obsidian, Gaun's Pledge, and a giant miniature space piglet. If you've played, let's see, Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2, I believe, you'll know what this is a callback to. Do like boo. Now, let's take a look at some weapons. Not sure what all I can use. Because it's not like in... Okay, let's see. 9 and 13. It's not like in other games where you have a... like the Baldur's Gate games where you could kind of spec into certain weapons, from what I gather. So, this is Pierce. Goes up versus Deflection. Stiletto is also pierced. Okay, and it gives damage reduction. Yeah. Okay.
Something else you need?
Yes. I would like greatsword, maybe? Do I have money? I do have money. Good. Okay. Stash that. Screw it. I don't really think there's anything I really need at the moment. So let's go to equipment. And probably should equip our more special items. Like the obsidian, the Cloak of Obsidian. Gaun's Pledge. This item grants the ability to shield the wearer from a myriad of perils that that plague the world of Eora. An aspect of the gods, Eothas, Gaun represents the harvest of old age, symbolized by the many interlocking sickles that form the ring. As Gaun protects the dignity of old age, so too does his followers prevent the young lives from being harvested before their time. And we're going to put out our pig. Got a little, there we go. There we go. Look at him. He's happy. And so am I, because this game seems very promising. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you want to see more, stay tuned, because I will be continuing this game. Hopefully to the end, unless I kind of peter out and lose interest, but I don't see that happening. Until next time, this has been the Mayor of Gaming. Have a good one.